Welcome to Day Text with Greg Stafford. We meet every weekday morning at 5 a.m. to consider a portion of the biblical record or other related texts, histories, sources of wisdom and knowledge that we can use and benefit from during our day. That's why we call them day texts. It's a way that we can progressively work our way through the Bible and other ancient history and texts to better our knowledge and understanding, and then to also, of course, reflect on ways that we can help other people and make our world a better place. Just doing a little sound check here, make sure we're all good to go. So once again, thank you all for joining me. Sorry I was not available yesterday. Sometimes I get very busy, and I will put a notice up when the show is going to be on. So we have a CW Jaw Talk show coming this Saturday. We're going to do part 2 of the Ancient Aliens and Christians series. So I look forward to joining you all for that. All right, we're going to get right to today's text, which is from Hebrews chapter 12. We're going to read verses 1 through 3. And we just got done concluding chapter 11, which talked about several examples of faith from history, including people like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, and others who acted out of faith toward Jah based on the reasons they had, the evidence available to them, including his appearance and involvement with them in times past. So when we read about faith, it's very important that we remember that faith is always and only ever should be based on the best available reasons. Faith is not blind. It's not in contradiction to science. Science contradicts science when it's not real science. I mean, they call it science, but it's not science when they don't actually use science to reach their conclusions, which is why they are constantly searching for the origin of life or trying to find missing links that don't exist. So we believe in the biblical records as accurate history. We believe we can scientifically show that God exists because life is here now, and life can only come from existing life. Therefore, life must be eternal. And we believe that it's obvious this eternal life is intelligent. We can point to a number of features in our creation, pretty much everything in the creation, to show this is the case. But other people may choose to believe differently, and that's fine. So we choose to believe these things. And that's why we get up every morning and read about them, so that we can remember them and use them. So what we're going to read today is from the book of Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 3. I'm going to go ahead and read it, and then I'll make a brief application. Okay, starting with verse 1 in Hebrews chapter 12, it states, "In view of the fact we also have such a great cloud of witnesses put in place around us, we have removed every obstacle in our way, including persistently troubling sin." That bothers all of us, right? We make mistakes all the time. It gets the better of us. It starts to depress us, but we have to move on, not allow that to hold us back. With patient endurance, the rest of verse 1, chapter 12. With patient endurance, we should move quickly. It's a contest. And when you're getting ready to perform, you do not hesitate. You don't doubt yourself on the way out to Jah or just try to be a good person. Then you go out there with a positive attitude and do it. Don't think about consequences unless it's something you need to consider so that you plan. But you're standing for Jah and Jesus and for the truth and how to help treat our fellow humans better. So what do you have to worry about? The only things they know they should be doing. All right, let's finish the text. Verse 2. As we look solely at the founder and the finisher of faith, Jesus. He's the one who very easily. And when we face opposition, it happens naturally because none of us want to have to deal with people who don't like us. It's much easier to deal with people who like us, right? Everybody knows that. But you can't, not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone is going to accept the things you're doing as acceptable and applaud you for it. And some are going to openly dislike you for the things that you choose to do. And that can be discouraging. It can depress us. But that's when you have to remember the things that people like Jesus did. We're not here in this world to be welcomed or embraced or promoted as the right way. That's not what this world is set up for. It's allowed and we get opportunities, but I think we can all pretty much tell. And if you can't, just look at the news, that the world for the most part is under the control of evil spirits and evil humans, among which there are good spirits and Jah and good humans, or humans who try, working our way through this time of judgment. This is not a time when Jah or Jesus are going to restore everything right now. It'll happen when they say. And until then, we have to patiently endure. Jesus had to patiently endure, even though he could have summoned a legion of angels. He could have gotten out of it in a way that wouldn't have ultimately led to our salvation, of course. But he could have chosen his own path. He could have done what he wanted to do instead of what Jah wanted him to do. And that's the choice we all face. Are we going to decide what we want to do? And if so, is that the same thing we were made to do, or that Jah tells us to do? If not, what we're really saying is we know better than Jah. We have figured out a way that is a more effective and beneficial way to us to act and to live than what Jah tells us. Does that sound stupid? That'd be like someone making a video game and then the characters in the game telling the one who made the game a better way to make the game. But they're not even aware of how the game was made. So how could they do that? It's a crude analogy, but you get my point. My point is we were made a certain way to do certain things. And we're doing things today that are totally different from how we were made, like war, fighting. That's not how we're made. We don't have any of the implements or design or features that would indicate we were designed for battle. But look at what we do. Look at how much effort and money and lives we spend to pull metal out of the earth or mix it together so we can form weapons, explosives, all kinds of different ways to kill each other. Yet we don't even have one as part of our physical structure. We'd have to really work at it, you know. We were not given sharp claws, sharp teeth, strong skin, fur, muscle. We don't have any of that. So we have to go through all these different things that end up enslaving humanity in debt just so we can fight, which we were not made to do. You see what I'm saying? So the people in the world today have not figured it out. They have not figured out a better way. First, because there is no better way. How could there be a better way than the way of the one who made us to do these ways? That's why Jesus said, I don't do what I want. I already know that the one who knows what to do, he's the one I should follow. You don't have to. He didn't have to. But what are you going to do as an alternative? What's your plan? If you don't have the Jah plan, exactly what plan do you have? I don't think there's a very good plan out there as an alternative to the Jah way, which is that we make choices, we will be judged according to our choices, and that it will be up to him to decide if we live again. So that's why we come together, to promote the worship of Jah and the belief in Jesus, the perfecter of our faith, the one who showed us that no matter how hard it gets, you can endure if you trust in Jah. And that's why we do these day texts, to help us remember the things so we don't become discouraged, like verse 3 says, causing us to give up. It happens a lot. I got discouraged the other day. I got very busy. And, you know, it's not easy to get everything done when you have so much to do. And you know you can do it, but it's just difficult to finish everything. And so you have to replan, dial things back a little, at least in my case, and then reset, refocus, and then start finishing one at a time. So do not become discouraged, even if we have to deal with hatred or people who don't want to help us, or they want to try to resist us. They're just destroying themselves. They're spending their life resisting you. Well, they're just giving up their own life. and bringing upon themselves judgment for getting involved with other people without helping them. So there are a lot of people in the world today, they don't know what they're doing. And when they do choose to do something, it seems often to be something that hurts other people. And there's no benefit to them. All they're doing is hurting their existing relationships and their future. And so we have a lot of short-sighted people today that don't think ahead. And see, they're not thinking what's coming. If I do this, what's going to happen with that? It's not hard to figure out. If you just take the time, stop lying to yourself and confront the reality that we all have to face. We're in a world where things are not easy. But if we work hard, we show love, and we don't betray and hurt other people without you going to them to discuss any issues we may have, then we can still enjoy life now, even if we have to endure public shame, difficulties, torture, whatever it is. We're going to go to the same place ultimately. So you might as well make sure that on your way there, you do everything you can to praise Jah and to show Him that in spite of our difficulties, we do care and we want to praise Him. No matter what other people up, Jesus is the founder and finisher of our faith. I don't care what the world says. They can mock Jesus. They can act stupid all day long. All they're doing is promoting goat worship, pan worship, transgenderism, abusing your body, using organs for purposes they weren't made for. What exactly is it they're offering? They have nothing. News today is totally fake. I mean, if you believe anything on the news, the TV today, you're just not a very smart person. They're faking everything. And it's disgusting. I mean, they're basically building a system of lies where they control the narrative in ways that if you're not careful and don't watch yourself, you could end up believing anything. So that's why we meet together, to help us to focus on the things that will keep us from falling victim to these idiotic philosophies and teachings which have never benefited anybody. They always lead to abuse and disease and death. So the ways these people are offering their fake news, their abuse of the body sexually, their warmongering, all of these things, they produce nothing but the very opposite of the reasons we were made and the love that Jah showed when He made the earth. All of these people and everything they're doing are contradicting those things. Just compare the original account in the Garden of Eden. Look at what people are doing today. Totally different. So we choose to follow Jah. We know we have to live in the world. We do our best. We work with everybody, even sinners. I don't care. As long as you're not going to hurt me or other people in my presence, I work with anybody. But if you openly try to damage somebody against, for no reason, or you're hurting them, then I'm your enemy. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to stop you. So my job is to be as good of a person as I can and to do what I can to help other people. Anyone who does the opposite is not my associate, and I'm not going to help them. And in fact, I will resist them if they are hurting other people, damaging humankind, and blaspheming the name of Jah. Of course, it's not my job to run around and confront every abusive person. My point is, I'm not supporting anybody who abuses people, no matter what they do, say, or think. So neither should you. So do not support these news shows. Go see what you want. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but what I want to make sure you understand is that the things we're facing and that Jesus had to face, the hatred, it's coming from the same people. These people today who are living and promoting all this garbage, murder, immorality, just the grossest kind of things like pedophilia, child abuse. They'll have sex with pretty much anything except for the thing they were made to have sex with. They're not offering anything, and they're here to fight against us, okay? Now, if they want to work with us and they're not going to be abusive toward the Christ, sexuals and all, but if you're going to blaspheme the Christ and you're going to defame Jah's name, I don't want anything to do with you. You can just go right out that door, or I'll go out the door if it's not my house. It's that simple. Do not tolerate any of this stuff. These are the very people in these videos and songs. It's so unentertaining. I'd much rather be focusing on Jesus, the things he did, learning from the scriptures like we are this morning. But we have to patiently endure. He had hatred directed against him. He had everybody abandon him. But because of his faith in Jah, he did not give up. That's the only way we're going to make it, brothers and sisters, is if we do not lose our faith in Jah. That's why we have to continue to remind ourselves of the best available reasons we have so that we get through this period of judgment and then we can praise Jah forever. That's the goal. And of course, we want to work with everybody we can, but I'm not going to tolerate it. I'm not tolerating anybody who in any way attempts to interfere with my praising Jah, or who tries to deceive me or mislead me into some way that just leads to stupidity and death. And they know it. They just don't know what else to do. Well, they do. They just don't want to. So anyone can see which road leads to a certain place if you just look down to the end of the road. But people aren't doing that. They're just looking right at the start of the road and then each step along the way. And then they get to the very edge and it's like, oh no, I didn't see that coming. Well, you didn't look. You didn't look down the road to see what was coming. That's what we try to do. We're looking down the road. We're trying to stay on the path. And do not let anybody get you off of it. If they do, you move right past them or you move them right out of your way. They're either coming with you or you move on, or you're not going to make it. Think of Jesus. What did he do? Was he alone or did he have everyone with him at the end? That's you. You have to be prepared. People will abandon you. They will betray you. They will set you up. They will lie to you. The only one you can truly trust is Jah, and the one that he sent forth to do the exact same things that we have to do. So do not forget these things. We live in a tough world. It's getting worse and worse in different ways, but Jah still allows for a peace to be maintained so that we can do what we are here to do and proclaim his name. I thank you all for joining with me this morning, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow as we continue through the book of Hebrews, doing our day text, and then this Saturday we will do part 2 of the Ancient Aliens and Christians episode. So may you all have a wonderful day, and may Jah bless you in Jesus' name.